Welcome to Italy and welcome to the Aston Martin DB11. It's a big budget, Hollywood-style remake of one of the automotive industry's most iconic models. And I don't think I'm overstating things when I say that the future of the company rests on the success of this very car. It's the long-awaited replacement for the DB9, which has been on the market for about 13 years now, which is an eternity. With the DB11, the slate is wiped clean, and we're here at a Bridgestone testing facility to be among the first in the world to get behind the wheel of Aston's new hotness. This thing is so fresh out of the oven, they haven't even peeled the camouflage off yet. For the past 13 years, the DB9 has served as the foundation to nearly all of Aston Martin's production cars, leaned out for things like the Vantage GT and stretched for the four-door Rapide S, still the loveliest sedan on the planet in my book. I've been lucky enough to drive all those cars, and while they all look and sound fantastic, and they certainly get your juices flowing to all the right places, each successive DB9 derivative really just served to show the age of that underlying platform. Now, I know it's a little hard to see with all this crazy swirling vinyl they've got stuck on here, but the shape of the DB11 is both classic and familiar, but modern and fresh. It starts with this giant clamshell hood that's sculpted and gives you no doubt about where the engine in this thing lies. And there's no doubt about where the power goes to the ground either, thanks to the giant flared fenders at the rear. 600 horses worth of power thanks to a new twin-turbo 5.2-liter V12. Yes, turbochargers on an Aston Martin, but don't worry, it still sounds ridiculous. It's not all about power though. This is also the most aerodynamic DB ever. It's got some crazy sculpting in the rear end. It pulls the air in around the rear of the car and ducts it up through the back to give you more downforce, which is something I think I might need today. The DB11 is all new from front to back. It's not just that twin-turbo lump under the hood, which for the record provides 90 more horsepower than before. The adaptive suspension on all four corners is far more advanced, as is the rear-mounted 8-speed ZF transmission. It's still an Autobox though, which won't be good news for many of you. Okay, so we're heading out on the test track with Aston hailing guru and test pilot Matt Becker. Matt, you were calling this a validation prototype. So what does that mean in terms of the overall scale of engineering a car like this?
So basically when I arrived in January 2015, we're at the X1 stage at that point, which was, it was basically a DB9 cut and shut with the suspension system integrated underneath, kind of bolted on. And then when you go from X1, you go to M1, which is the first car which has the proper structure, so because the body structure is all new, as is the entire car. This VP verification prototype is basically we're a long way down the phase now. So this car is kind of 85% of what job one production will be. We're now really into the software tuning phase because this car has some new technologies which is new to Aston Martin, which is Bilstein Skyhook damping. It's a new software which allows many more parameter changes. It also has EPAT steering. So it's the first time for Aston Martin. Don't panic, the steering is very, very good.
I can't wait to find out.
Yeah. The steering itself, it's quite a fast ratio. It's 13:1 ratio. As a comparison, a Vanquish or Rapide is around 15:1.
Okay.
But what that does is it gives a really nice level of connection and immediacy about the steering.
And for the suspension, are you looking to offer a broader range between, what would be soft and hard, or is it ultimately doing more fine-tuning and tweaking?
We're pretty comfortable where GT mode is right now.
Yeah.
And basically Sport and Sport Plus, what we're doing is we're looking more for a precision and character change rather than discomfort. We still want this level of compliance throughout all of the range, and we're really looking for a little bit more attack in the car to make the car sort of shorten and shrink around you.
So this is still going to be a grand tour in every mode, but ultimately it should be a sharp one that you can take on the track maybe and have a little fun with.
Exactly, yeah. With the systems we have in this car, it allows us to make it a very good GT car, but then we can broaden its capability because of the adaptive damping software. We also have DTV, which is dynamic torque vectoring, which is what we use the brakes to give the car
to turn.
Get the car to turn.
And you got a lot more power to play with now too, a lot more torque anyway.
Yeah, I mean, power 600 horsepower. The most impressive thing is, we've had a few comments already of people driven the car who said, "Oh, I can't tell it's turbocharged." So, I mean, the response and the connection to the engine is excellent. It delivers 700 newton meters of torque at 1500 RPM. So
that's healthy.
it's healthy. It's a challenge for the rear tyres, and certainly a lot of the tyre development we've done is really, is around concentration on making sure the rear tyre can deliver the necessary traction with that amount of torque. You also find you can adjust the attitude of the car with the throttle quite easily, which is really nice if you just want to tuck the car into the corner a bit more. What it won't do is it won't suddenly let loose on you. It just allows the nose to tuck in a little bit. So that's GT.
Okay.
So now you'll find in Sport that you'll just get a little bit more attack from the car at a smaller steering wheel angle, just to give it a little bit more character change.
Yeah.
And it just reduces some of the roll angle, or the roll rate, reduces the roll rate of the car. And what we're looking to do really next with the torque vectoring is just to reduce some of this understeer a little bit.
Okay.
Just to help the car turn in. Now I go to Sport Plus damping mode. The car's a little bit tighter vertically. But all the time the rear of the car is really stable, the car's easy to place, easy to position, and very composed.
Once Matt had finished showing me around the course, it was time for us to swap seats, for me to take my turn behind the wheel. Okay, heading out on the track in the priceless, one-of-a-kind Aston Martin DB11 prototype. Boy, you notice the throttle response pretty immediately. Definitely no concern about turbo lag here. And the engine note, well, if you were worried about turbochargers, don't. It's perhaps a little bit less melodic than the outgoing 6-liter V12, but it's still more than enough to make the hair stand up in the back of your neck. Sounds very, very good. And it definitely is very nimble. This is a tight little dry handling course we've got here at the Bridgestone facility. As Matt said, they've still got some work to do to make this thing even sharper. The torque vectoring he was mentioning will help to drive this car out of the corners and help the nose to stay tucked in, basically. So it should get rid of any last lingering traces of understeer. Not that I'm worrying about that right now. Well, it was short, but pretty sweet. This new Aston is far sharper than those that have come before, and not just thanks to that quicker steering rack. It's a big car for sure, but it feels very poised. There's certainly no turbo lag to speak of, but the engine's power delivery did feel a little bit lumpy at times. Given this is still just a prototype and that everything is subject to change, I won't score any points against for that. However, I will give it low marks for the interior color, even if it did match my shirt. It's been a tantalizingly brief encounter with the new DB11, only about an hour on track, but given this is the only one in the world, you gotta take what you can get. It's another few months before the car goes into production, and so I'll hold any formal judgments on how the car drives and feels until then. But from what I've felt and what I've heard thus far, I gotta say, things are looking pretty good for the new Aston.